Hello everybody, OSW-Sim-Sports here, and these are the cars I wish we could drive in modern Sims. Look at those cars and look at the list of cars in the game. We have Corvettes, we have Vipers, this weird SC3, this legendary BMW GTR, and we have some more weird cars like the Lotus Elise, which was somehow a GT car. Legendary cars like the Lister Storm, Lamborghini, with some legendary teams like Dams, Reiter Engineering, and even with Maserati we see of Corsa. And of course, with the GT game of this era, it obviously has a ton of Porsches, but also this very rare these days Saleen, this abomination of a Seat. But obviously we choose to go for the 550 Maranello Ferrari on the track of Circuit de Catalunya at Barcelona. And if you just look through the player names here, it is quite a list. We see Johnny Herbert, Pedro Lamy, Mico Salo. We see Dirk Müller, Tom Christensen, Thomas Enge, Kurt Team, and as you can imagine, there are quite a few legendary. As we get waved out for the first run by our pit engineer. Honestly, it's pretty cool that for a game from this time, the game actually has a pit engineer waving you out. And listen to that car. We can hear the exhaust rumbling as we go on the gas for the first lap. And it always amazes me in this game how fast it feels. Like the sense of speed in this game is really amazing. I don't know if it is something with the head movement, with the FOV setting. Yeah, I just don't have any idea, but the game always feels really quick, and obviously the cars of this era are really quick. They don't have a lot of downforce, which makes them quite slippy in the corners. They're way less sticky than the modern GT cars of this era. However, in a straight line they are absolutely rockets, and this car famously with its big ass V12 in it is a true rocket, and it makes it very enjoyable to drive. Trying to fight the car through each corner, and as soon as you get on the straight again, boom, it rockets down to the next one. So it comes quick and it comes fast, and it is just really enjoyable. And once you get in the groove of the game, yeah, it becomes quite addicting. And as you can see, we are on the old layout. This is obviously like the old MotoGP layout. And as you will see, it doesn't even have the chicane included yet, which makes this track really quick, really flowy, and really fun to drive. And for me personally, this is where sim racing all started. My dad gave me a copy of GTR2. We had the Logitech G25 Momo Force racing wheel, the red one of course. And yeah, I used to play this quite a lot, just going on this track with the 550, with this one, and generally just in solo practice sessions and just driving and driving. And while I can do quite quick lap times with these now, I remember being really proud of driving my first 142, which back then was quite an achievement, to be honest. And as you can see, the tail gets quite squirrely. These cars famously don't really have ABS on board. You can actually set it in the game, but it is considered a assist. So I'm driving without any ABS, driving without any traction control, which I think is historically accurate, but I'm not 100% sure. as we are passing the M3 GTR, and there you can see how easy it is to lock up the brakes if you are a little bit too aggressive. And especially in this game, the curbs are really aggressive. I don't know what it is, but they instantly seem to make the car lose grip, and you will quite often just slide out. I don't know if it is just me, but I personally think that these cars are among the best cars to just drive in sim racing, as they are of the era where they are like still very raw. You can even see it in the steering wheel, just a few buttons. There are still like raw machines with a lot of horsepower, and you really have to control them, you really have to fight them. And obviously these days, if they would give it a full level simulation, they would be quite hard to drive, I think, but they would also be very, very enjoyable to drive as a top level class. And as you can see, the curb absolutely kills me. And just look at the cars coming by: a Saleen, a Maserati, and a very nice Viper, as we go on board for a quick lap. And just imagine what this would sound and look like on a modern sim like Le Mans Ultimate, ACC or iRacing. Just how amazing the online racing could be. I think with modern GT3 cars, they are obviously quite easy to drive. And it is obviously difficult to go really quick, but you have to drive them in a certain way, really abusing the ABS, getting the max out of the traction control, etc., which can make the cars feel a little bit mechanical, if that makes any sense. And these cars feel way more raw, way more natural, and I don't know, maybe I'm a purist, maybe I'm clouded by nostalgia, but I really think that these cars could be amazing. To the last sector, try to carry a lot of speed into this and rotate the car with the throttle, and as you can see, the car does get quite squirmy if you give it a little bit too much. It almost basically just adds to the fun. And as we go towards the line, we will get a 1:39.5, which is not an amazing time or anything, but it is absolutely fine. Of the sights and sound the game has to offer. And this is what really amazes me every time, like the variety in all of these old cars. And obviously these days they would have massive licensing issues getting all of these cars in the game. And can of course dream and hope, and I do truly think that the community needs to be offered something else than just GT3 racing for the absolute top class of touring car racing, because all of the other classes are basically generally formula or prototype racing. These old GT cars are just really, really cool, I think. Games like Assetto Corsa Competizione and Le Mans Ultimate, where they are basically limited by the license that they have. I think actually offering some vintage and like young vintage content like these type of cars can actually be a really great and refreshing addition to what they are currently offering. Because in both of these games, well, what they have to offer is really great, and they offer full fields of racing, which makes it immersive, enjoyable to play, and gives it a lot of variety. They all only try to simulate or provide modern cars, and I do think there's like not a massive gap in the market here, but at least some space to move around. Now, would I recommend you to play this game 19 years later, if you have never played it before and are used to titles like iRacing, Assetto Corsa, etc., no, I really wouldn't play it because the force feedback isn't that great these days. The AI is terrible, honestly. The tracks lack a lot of detail as they weren't laser scanned as they are these days. And while the graphics do hold up quite nicely and the sound is surprisingly good for when the game was released, I think the overall experience you can get in Assetto Corsa, like the original game where you can mod quite a lot of stuff, replicating these GT1 cars is honestly superior, even though they are community mods most of the time. Now, if you like this type of historic / quasi opinion type of content, then do be sure to hit the like button or leave a comment so I know I should continue with this. And while I know I am a very small channel and this is probably annoying, I do hope you hit the subscribe button if you enjoy this content and want to see more, as it does really encourage me to keep going. Anyhow, this is the point where I say goodbye. I have been OSW-Sim-Sports and I wish you all a good day. See you later. Ciao.